It's a cloudy morning here, but your knowledge of the law doesn't have to be. That's why Leducation is here for you. Welcome to Leducation, our weekly legal podcast where we break down legal issues, legal topics, legal concepts, answer your questions that has to do with anything law in a way that you will understand without having to go to the law school. In the past few episodes, we have been discussing on the topic of company registration in Nigeria. And it's very important because I've been receiving a lot of questions around certain terminologies that are used in those videos, especially when it has to do with share capital. Oh, what does it mean? What's authorized share capital? Do I have to have 20 million naira? Do I have to have 300 million naira and all of that? Don't worry. That's why we are here in this episode. When it comes to share capital, there are various things you should know. There is the authorized share capital, there is issued share capital, there is called up share capital, paid up share capital, subscribed share capital, and all of that. What do they mean? And what should you know about them? Please stay tuned. Just before we continue, ensure that you subscribe, ensure that you share it, ensure that you like and drop a comment. Engage with this post. That's the minimum you can do for us. Let that be your school fee that you are paying for the knowledge that we are passing to you. Now, let's start with authorized share capital. Authorized share capital simply means the maximum share capital, the maximum amount of share capital a company is permitted to have, which is contained in its memorandum of association. Remember, I have discussed what memorandum of association is. You can check our previous video for more details on that. Now, the maximum that a company is permitted to have, which is registered with CAC. If you want to change this, you will have to apply to CAC to expand this authorized share capital. So, for instance, there are certain companies that are required to have certain threshold of share capital. Finance company maybe 20 million, for trustees about 300 million, for banks, different levels or tiers of banks have different share capital that they must have. This will be reflected in their memorandum of association, and they cannot issue out more shares than it is authorized in their memorandum of association. Now, let me immediately go to what issued share capital is. Now, I've given an example of, maybe let's use a finance company whose share capital or whose authorized share capital is minimum of 20 million naira according to CAC requirement. Let's say 20 million naira is what is contained in their memo. The company can decide to issue out a part of that capital. They don't have to issue all of the authorized share capital at once. They may decide to say that, oh, we are issuing out 50% of our authorized share capital, in which case it will be 10 million naira. But what is required is that a minimum of 25% of their authorized share capital has to be issued. That means for a 20 million naira share capital or authorized share capital, at least 5 million naira has to be issued and subscribed by the shareholders. Because a company has issued out 5 million naira does not mean that all the shareholders have to contribute 5 million naira now before the company starts. No. Now, there is something called up share capital. That means the part of the issued share capital of a company that has been called off by the company. A practical example, our finance company, we have issued out 5 million naira share capital. Now, out of that 5 million naira share capital, we need 2 million naira to start off this company. So we send a message to all our shareholders to say that as part of your subscribed share capital, we want you to pay so amount up to 2 million naira of the share capital. That is the called up share capital. Now, if we call for 2 million naira and the subscribers, that is the shareholders, decide to pay up say 1.5 million out of the shares that we have called up. Now, that 1.5 million is referred to as paid up share capital. That is the part of the authorized share capital that has been issued, that has been called up, and then that has been paid up by the shareholders. If you need to rewind, releasing, and even listen slowly, please do, for you to be able to grab all these concepts. Uncalled up share capital will then mean that the part of the issued share capital that has not been called up. In this case, we said that 2 million naira has been called up by the company, and 1.5 million was paid up. But 3 million, which has been issued, has not been called up. That is reserved. It's more like, oh, let's keep that until a future time when a need arise, and then the company calls for it. Now, when we talk about limited liability, what it simply means is that in the case of winding up of that company, for every subscribers, their liability is only limited to the parts of the share capital they subscribe to that has not been paid up. Let me go over that again. The liability of the shareholders, the liability of every shareholder is limited to the amount of the share capital is subscribed to, which has not been paid up by him. Now, let me give a practical example. Mr. Adamu subscribed to our company, our finance company's share capital. We called up, or we issued out 5 million naira share capital, and he subscribed to 1 million out of the shares. He subscribed to 1 million. So when we sent out our our invitation to pay up their capital and all, Mr. Adamu paid fully his 1 million naira. Mr. Jimo, on the other hand, subscribed to 1 million naira, but when the shares were called up, he only paid let's say one. He subscribed to 1 million. He only paid up 500,000 out of his 1 million. Now, in the event of winding up, the company runs into a problem, or for one reason or the other, the company has to be wound up. What happens? Mr. Adamu has no liability whatsoever to the company, but Mr. Jimo has liability up to 500,000 naira that has not been paid up. That is why it is limited liability. Your liability is only limited to the share capital you subscribe to that you have not already paid up at the time of winding up of the company. I believe you have learned something today. Yes, let's do it again next week. Let's do it again on this same channel. Keep watching. You can go over our previous episodes. Share this knowledge to those who may need it, who are not already subscribed to our channel. Let them also subscribe. Thank you very much.